All right, let's get into this. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, there has been announcements again today. It's February the 11th. It's not. It's February the 11th elsewhere in the world, but it's February 10th today where I am at. And Axie released on the Lunacian substacks another post. We're going to be talking about Origins and what is coming. The title reads Axie Infinity Origins is coming. We know it's coming. We really want to know when it's coming. Maybe we'll find out throughout this read that we're going to take on. I've seen some stuff here and there on Twitter, you know, some tweets from guys in the community, people already reacting to what's being released. So I thought, you know what, click the record button. We got to get into something. And yeah, fam, let's cover this because this is gonna be some big news. A lot of people have already taken a look at this information, and there's leaks already on Twitter, people talking about it. There's some conversations going on. Shout out to Don Juan again, someone that I came across talking about this subject. And you know, I was out doing my thing and I saw the information. I thought, okay, wait, hold on a second, we gotta tap back in because something's happening. So shout out to those guys, their tweets there below. Make sure to follow these guys as well. There is so much information in this substack that if you are interested in Axie Infinity, then you are going to want to listen along to this. A lot of exciting things, both economically and from a game's perspective. The entire community, really and truly. Axie Origins is coming, and we're going to discuss it right here in this video. Axie Infinity Origins Battle V3 is fast approaching. It will have brand new interfaces, game mechanics, art, special effects, storylines, and expansive onboarding experience. Origin has been built from the ground up to be more approachable for a mainstream audience. The addition of 3 free starter Axies will make it much easier to recruit your friends and family to join our community. 3, what does that remind you of? How about Professor Oak? How about yo, this is gonna change a lot though. This is I'm not gonna get into the details now. Let's continue reading, but 3 of them. There are still final touches being made and not everything is completely finalized yet, so there might be changes to what we describe here. However, we wanted to share as much as possible while you wait or patiently wait for something to play. Our goal is to begin the game's release process by the end of Q1 2022, which is the end of March. Naturally, we want to get Origins out as quickly as we can. Now, I don't mind this as much as, like, I want the game to be here right now. I would prefer and appreciate that the game was here in the right time and the right preparations had been made, because this is huge. This is the entire game evolving and taking the next step, so those steps have to be made you know, with confidence and the correct preparations. Release plan, right? So the alpha, we will start with an initial alpha launch of Origin, where we plan to make the game available to everyone globally via Mavis Hub and Android APK. During the alpha launch window, we're looking for player feedback, which will allow us to further refine the game before formal release. There will be no SLP or AXS rewards available in Origin during the alpha, so this means that everything that you earn in the alpha will not be retained as you progress into the official launch. Everything will be reset. So a lot like most games, early alphas, we get hold of things and you know, you're just gonna get your hands-on experience with the game, and Sky Mavis will obviously be listening to our feedback. Season 0. After the alpha phase, we will launch with Season 0, which will allow us to make more core updates to the game based upon feedback. Depending on how the alpha goes, we may transition SLP earnings from Battle V2 into Origin during that season, at which point Battles V2 will be shut down. Otherwise, Battles V2 will keep running in parallel until we are ready to transition. So they're keeping that competitive scene alive and the earning factor from farming your SLP. If that's something that you are utilizing the game for, you can still continue to farm your SLP playing in the leaderboards whilst Origins Alpha is released. But when the initial game is released, and if they deem it is ready for that in Season 0, when they start, they will transfer the SLP earning system to Battles V3 and shut down the old system. To be honest, I'm at the point where, like, V2, like, I love it, but I'm ready to move on. I'm already looking at Axies and thinking, well, what did they do in Origin? So it's very hard for me to be involved fully with V2 still. Your Axies. You will be able to use the Axies you own now in Origin. Your Axies are a ticket to all future experiences built into the Axie universe, which is like a trademark statement almost from Sky Mavis. They use this imagery of Axies being the ticket. They are essentially, they give you access to all things in the Axie universe. Infinite games with infinite experiences. That's why it's called Axie Infinity. So this is what I'm actually here for, because we understand, you know, the competitive side of things is where we like to be at. And we have, of course, new game mechanics. So there's going to be a lot of changes here. So this is going to be the important read. So I'm going to break this down. Sequential turns. Now, I haven't quite wrapped my head fully around everything just yet. I haven't played any of the similar turn-based strategies or card strategy games that the new game mode is going to be kind of inspired by. There are some games out there, representations or examples probably on the screen, that people, you know, are understanding what this is, almost not trying to imitate, but they will work on the same structure, the same format. So this is actually really enlightening for me, because I'm not sure exactly how things are going to work, and for me to be able to craft decks and to go into the depths of theory crafting, I need to be completely understanding of the rules of the game and the mechanics of the game. So this is the most important information that's been released so far. Even on top of the cards, the mechanics is everything. In Origin, Axies will now execute their attacks immediately as cards are played. Opposing trainers will take sequential turns using their cards versus choosing them simultaneously at the beginning of a round, as in Battles V2. Trainers will now be in constant action, either playing their cards or carefully observing their opponent's moves. We believe that this fast-paced new game design is more engaging and provides a greater feeling of control over your Axies, since they spring into action immediately when the card is played. Yes, this reveals a lot. I've already read this piece of information before in some way. I don't know if they've directly used the same description somewhere else, but how the Axies act as soon as the cards are played is very interesting. The sequential turns, is it okay, are we looking at, you know, it's literally one card each time, so I can play one card on this Axie, one card on that Axie, one card on this Axie, and like as soon as I've played one card on the first Axie, my opponent now has the ability to start playing cards. Like it's bro, it's still fucking my head up. Unused energy and cards will no longer accumulate across turns by default during battles, so trainers will have less incentive to skip turns and not use their energy or card. There will be many mechanics around retaining and acquiring energy / cards that will still provide layers of strategic decision making within the game. Something like Tiny Dino, like here you get the 15 damage for the retain. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I've just seen there's some eyes and ears cards. No, there's just eyes cards there. Wait, I'm gonna pause. I'm not gonna look at them. I can see them anyway, but yo, let's read. For those of you familiar with the V2 Battles experience, most of the cards you know and love have carried over to Origin. However, most cards play differently, as they now have either an attack or a defense value rather than carrying both. Some cards that you're familiar with have newly described abilities. However, we've tried to keep the spirit of the cards as consistent as possible. We look forward to seeing your thoughts as you get familiar with them all. So this is eyes and ears cards here, and it's about to explain it. But Robin summons a little Robin. Pretty, I expected that when we first started to see the image of this Robin fellow. Telescope we already know about. Put one aquatic card from your draw pile to your hand, and then the card is banished. It's a 0 energy cost. And then we have Earwing, which is an ear card actually for the bugs. Deal damage to all enemies. Deal 3 bonus damage per card in your hand. I suppose that was meant to say on your hand. So we're doing 20 damage to all enemies and then 3 bonus damage per card. So if I had like 5 cards in hand, I'm actually doing 35 damage to everyone on the field. That's pretty nice. And a spread damage again. These things can be combined with like AoE cards and stuff like Gila and maybe Yam to poison most of the teams. And now you're seeing a lot of damage being acquired on the entire team as a whole, putting the opponent under pressure. Has to start prioritizing Axies, whatever. The eyes and ears, there will now also be new card combinations I'm just reading out whatever I want to say, mate. Fucking hell. There will now also be all new cards that relate to an Axie's eyes and ears, so the meta combinations have increased significantly. In the V2 battles experience, trainers were able to leverage 4 of Axie's skills. In Origin, get ready to leverage all 6 of an Axie's cards. We look forward to seeing trainers discover unique and surprising Axie team compositions. I'm so happy that the devs, like, they're aware of the community, they're aware of the competitive scene, and even their excitement to see the new compositions from all of the possibilities. You know, I feel they share that with us, so it's an amazing thing to have in a competitive scene. Power-ups, runes, and charms. Now, this is the interesting thing. This is what I actually originally saw on Twitter, and I just thought that the Substack was about this solely. So to have checked this out and actually be like greeted with all of the information on Origins so far, other than the release date, by the way, so far I don't know, it might still be there at the end of the video, but I need that release date. But to have been given all that information on top of this is great. So let's jump into this one. I'm actually going to do a separate video on this specific section because I think it is huge, and we might do eyes and ears as well. We'll cover it. Look at this, look at it, look at it, look at it. So look at these. We're not going to go into it because I'm going to do a separate video on this because this is big news, bro. This is big shit right here. So we will do a video on this. Rage. Oh gosh. Okay, so there's a lot of rage cards currently that we've been seeing throughout the releases. Just 3 that we can see that already have been revealed. Shiba, Confident, and Imp. Shiba actually has a different card art on the reveal, but whatever. They all have the effects of rage, and you can see it highlighted there in yellow. Now, Imp does say Fury, but I'm sure we'll find out a bit more in this next section. It begins, critical hits are no longer the rage, right? Okay. Trainers playing V2 battles expressed a lot of concern and frustration around critical hits. I think it's a talented thing, as the random element often over-influences matches. So we've decided to remove random critical hits from Origin gameplay. However, the game will introduce new above card play mechanics such as rage, which Axie accumulate over the course of a battle. We're excited to see how trainers create new plans and strategies when they attempt to choose the right timing to unleash their Axie's rage against opponents. So it hasn't actually touched on the math or the equation in which rage will serve like critical hits. As you can see, Origins is moving towards a strong focus on a fast turn-based game design. This, combined with all of the other additional new mechanics, in many ways makes familiar V2 Axie stats such as speed irrelevant. Therefore, in Origin, Axies now simply have hit points. So we're removing the factor of speed. This is massive. Now, not many card games and like most of the strategy games I've played in the past have all been turn-based. They're allocated turns. You sit, you think, you make a decision, and those decisions are displayed, and so on and so forth. Axie want a more involved, a more, I think it brings that more, it just has more passion. It's more real. You have that hands-on experience with the fact that, like, I could play cards right now, or I'm going to take a chill right here, suss my opponent out, realize what he's trying to do, and then figure out the counter around that. There's so much more that comes with the fast pace of things, and it challenges the mental of the player even more. So in terms of esports, for me, this is like upping the level when we get to that high caliber of gameplay and people are playing some like real in-depth strategies, but then the timing of the way that they play these strategies, or even the setup in which they go for, is all going to be almost like play style, because you choose when to play the cards. It's not, okay, this composition works where I skip till round 2, and as long as this hasn't died at this point, I now have enough shield and energy and cards to maintain a wall of Axies which can't be defeated, and it becomes a lot more balanced. I guess balanced is the way that I'm trying to say this. I'm saying a lot, like I am saying a lot on it, but to me this balances the game out. If you like, you really got to think about this. The action happens as the card is played, right? The pace of things is going to be real quick. The anticipation of does he have the cards where he could just, quick fire destroy my front line right now, and how would I then deal with that? And just it just brings so much more excitement to the game itself. It's pretty overwhelming for me at the moment, really. To think of all the different ways that this influences the game and how different it is going to be. I'm very excited for how this will change the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing the development of the competitive players in this community, and how much more of a sport this seems to feel like with that fast pace is yet to be decided. But if we go anywhere near, you know, that sense of a real sport, that real atmosphere when the game is on, that changes absolutely everything from a game standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, and then for my at large focus, an esports standpoint. It truly, you know, this could be it, mate. Starter axies are gonna be a way for people to get hold of or get their hands on being able to play the game and experience the game without having to part with, you know, capital in the initial phase and be kind of pushed away from this game because of the anxieties that are behind crypto. Even in some cases, people are very new. Some people have not touched crypto. Like, we might be in a space and our everyday lives kind of work around or work alongside a crypto space where this stuff is very normal for us, but there are a lot of people and tons of gamers out there that probably would look and find joy in this game that would not get involved simply because of those limitations. So now the introduction of starter axies really opens up the marketability of the game at large. This just means that more people will be able to experience Axie and then decide if they love Axie or not. You've already met Bubba. He's one of the numerous starter Axies trainers will be able to play with in the game completely for free. These starter Axies are not NFTs, and players cannot earn SLP from using them for now, at least. Maybe that will change. Maybe that's again another incentive for people to start playing the game, is because they can earn from the ground up and have like a grinding aspect. Again, economical issues that come with that inflation of SLP, whatever. That's why it's in brackets as for now, at least, because it still needs to be talked about. However, trainers will be able to earn access to even more starter axies as they progress in the PvE adventure mode. Players will be able to use these axies in PvP as well, but if they want to get a larger variety of axie team compositions, they'll have to pick up some NFT based axies from the marketplace. So again, the game at large really, and that ownership aspect comes with being purchasing on-chain axies from the marketplace and actually owning the axies that you're playing with, and that ultimately should always be the goal. And I think as well why it says for at least now with the SLP earning ability from the starter axies is because I believe that we should be in a space that has the capability to incentivize somebody to play the game, to earn the ability to own eventually, and then with ownership can grow within the community. So again, that's something that I would support, but the ins and outs of it is just something that is so above here. Data points I don't know, that I can't talk on. Whatever, I'm not going to talk on it. I'm not a political party in any of this stuff, so I don't know, mate. I'm just like you. I love the game and I want the best for the space. We know a lot of our dedicated players will have no problem picking up the new battle system in Origin. However, we want to make sure Origin is not too overwhelming for your friends and other new players as well. Therefore, successful play of the game will progressively unlock different features in the game as trainers progress through the PvE adventure. We've also provided a plethora of tutorials to better explain different parts of the gameplay. Tutorials will be able to be revisited anytime, just in case trainers want to review them later. We're so very excited to show you Axie Infinity Origin, and we appreciate everyone's patience as we continue to work tirelessly on it to put it out. To shut your mouth. Shut the front fucking door, mate. That is a shit sentence. We're so very excited to show you Axie Infinity Origin. Why is there a comma and then an and? Like, please, I don't want to be grammar police. We're so very excited to show you Axie Infinity Origin, and we appreciate everyone's patience as we continue to work tirelessly on it to put out a high quality game for everyone to play. whoever did that, they rushed that little last part. But other than that, the Sky Mavis, great job. It's not really a leak. I guess it's a leak. Yeah, it's a leak. We got eyes and ears cards anyway. So, but absolutely loved it. Thank you for the update. I just want a date. Not like that. I just want a date confirmation, please. That is all I asked for. But I'm not going to hold you here too much longer. That was the Substacks. We're always checking out the Lunacian. If you haven't already, make sure, you know, you can check this out. There's probably, I'll put a link in the description for you, mate. Just for you. Just for you. Just for you. But if you want to go check it out yourself, there it is. But we need a date, mate. There are stuff that I'm going to touch on and go into in different videos. For now, we're going to say sayonara. Thank you for coming through. Make sure to leave a like on the video. And if you want to stick around for more Axie Infinity Origins content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Again, the socials are below. Make sure to go follow everything down there. And hit up Novian Gaming if you're looking to get involved in Axie Infinity. We are on the hunt for the best players. Big announcements coming soon. There's probably a video that's dropping on that as well, so check the rest of the channel out and, you know, have a good time, mate. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and it's time for you to get the fuck out. Thank you. Bye.